is we are finding the equation of a line between 2 points. So no graphing or anything today. So we're going to find the equation of a line between 2 points. And today is going to be a lot of solving an equation. So hope you guys remember that. If not, regular practice. So we're going to find the equation of a line in slope-intercept form that represents the line that passes through the points 2, 1, and 5, negative 8. And all this is just saying is, what's the equation of a line that goes between 2, 1, and 5, negative 8? So we need to do two things. First thing we need to do is find the slope. So we've done this before. Anybody remember the equation to find slope?
Y equals mx.
M is slope in there. How do you find slope when you don't look at a graph? There was an equation we talked about. Anybody remember?
What?
What was it, Zoe?
I was thinking, isn't it like y equals mx?
No, that was for the whole line. So that we are going to use that equation. I guess we're right. So we're going to make this equation, y equals mx plus b, right? That's our slope-intercept form. So I need to find m, I need to find b. And to find m, because I've got these 2 points here, right? Do I have a graph I can count my slope on?
Mm-hmm.
No. So we're going to have to think back a couple sections and use our y. Oh, I forgot I changed that around slightly. So that's right there. I gave you a slightly different. It's the same formula, I just wrote it so it's a little easier. So to find our slope, we're going to have to think back to y minus y1 over x minus x1. So we're going to have to find our slope on our own first. And then after we find our slope, we're going to find b. And finding b is kind of annoying, but we can do it. Today's stuff isn't super difficult, it's just kind of annoying. I'll be honest. So I'm going to find the slope between these 2 points. So I have x, y, I have x1, I have y1. I'm just going to fill in numbers into my little equation down here. So y minus y1 on top, y is 1, minus y1 is negative 8, over x is 2, minus x1 is 5. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to solve this. So on the top I have 1 minus negative 8. Jared, start us off. What's a minus negative really?
Plus.
Minus a negative is really plus positive. So I really have 1 plus 8 on top, which is 9. And then on the bottom, I'm going to have 2 minus 5, which is negative 3. I'll grab no 3 for there, Kyle. So I have 9 over negative 3. And before, when we've done slopes, Richie, not for YouTubes. Before, when we did slopes, I said keep it as a fraction. For today's stuff, we aren't going to use fractions. We want just a regular number today, or maybe even a decimal. So, I'll say it one more time. Before today, we said keep slope as a fraction, so you keep that as your answer. For today, we want to change our slopes into just a single number. I'm going to grab Desmos here. I have 9 over negative 3. My slopes. Let me grab Desmos. There we go. So I'm just going to plug that into Desmos real quick. Go 9 divided by negative 3, and I get negative 3. So this is negative 3. Normally we really want this, but for today it's going to be easier with this. So this is like the only time we divide it out and don't get a fraction. Dylan, how about I hang on to those for you? So you're not tempted to plug them back in. I got you, man. Alright, so my m is negative 3. So I've got the first piece. This is my m right here. I got the first piece of this equation. I need to find b. And finding b is kind of annoying, but we're going to get it figured out. It's just kind of annoying. So, what I'm going to do to find b is I am going to take my m, and I'm going to look at this. I'm going to take my first point. I have 2, 1, right? This is 2 is an x, 1 is a y. I'm going to plug 2 in for my x, and y equals mx plus b. I'm going to plug 1 in for my y, and y equals mx plus b. And I'm going to plug negative 3 in for my m up here. And after I do that, all I will have left is b. And I can solve it for b. by using the solving equation stuff we did a couple chapters ago. So, I'm going to replace this x, y, and m with numbers. So, now that I found my slope, I'm just going to use this first piece right here. I'm going to use this first point, and I don't really care about this anymore. I don't care about that point anymore. Because I don't need it, I just needed it for slope, I found it. So, instead of y, and y equals mx plus b, you can write it here so it's easier to kind of go back and forth. Instead of y, I'm going to put my 1. So I'm going to go 1 equals, my m, I just found is negative 3. And on, in between here, Zoe, what's in between m and x right here, even though we don't write it down? There's a times, right? So I'm going to go negative 3 times, and instead of an x, I'm going to put in the number 2. And then I don't know what b is yet, so I'm going to figure it out by, I have plus b here, I'm going to have to solve it for b.
This is like a lot of things.
That's why it's annoying, because there's a lot of steps. It's not super difficult, but there's a lot of steps. So it's kind of annoying. Alright, so we're going to have to solve it for our b here. And when we solve it for b, it's kind of the same thing every time, which is kind of nice. So I am going to have to first do negative 3 times 2, which is negative 6. I just multiplied negative 3 times 2 together, and I got negative 6. I still get a plus b, and I still have equals 1. Alright, I need to get the b by itself. And Richie, how would I get rid of this negative 6? What do I do? Because it's a minus, we're going to do the opposite to get it on the other side, and we are going to plus 6 on both sides. We're going to plus 6 on both sides. After I plus 6, Allison, what happens with the negative 6 plus 6 over here?
I think of words.
I like the hand motions, but
They cancel out.
they cancel out. They are gone. They're opposites, which is what I want. They cancel out, they're gone. So all I have left on the right side is just b, which is good, that's what I want. And on the left side, I have 1 plus 6 is 7. I found out 7 equals b. So I found my m, I found my b. I've done all the work, but I haven't actually answered it yet, because I need to make the equation. So it says, what equation? I don't have the equation yet, I need to actually write it. But it's pretty easy. Now that I have my m is negative 3, my b is 7, I just need to write negative 3 and 7 in here. We go y equals negative 3x plus 7. This is my final answer. So, I did all of this work just to get this piece right here.
For real.
Yep. So, it's not really super hard. You guys have done all of this kind of stuff before. It's just kind of time consuming. It's kind of annoying.
Did you hear my headphones?
I did. I'm about ready to take your Chromebook. Snatch that right up. And maybe I'll just hold on to your headphones for a while. Give it till lunch. Alright, so we are just going to practice this. This is all we're working on today. Because there's a lot of steps here, and I want to make sure you guys got it. It's not that bad. It's going to get worse.
You're like a negative.
Yeah, it's going to get way worse. You better enjoy this while you can. In like 2 months, you're going to be like, man, I wish we were finding the equation between 2 points.
With negative answers. Oh my god.
Alright, so we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to find the equation through the points 3, negative 2, and 1, negative 3. So the steps are the same. I need to find slope first with my y minus y1 over x minus x1. So I have x and y, x1, y1. I'm going to fill in my formula here with numbers. Excuse me. And then we're going to solve it, and unlike last time, we're going to get an actual single number before. So I'm going to go y is negative 2 minus y1 is negative 3
Oh, crap.
over x is 3 minus x1 is 1. Don't forget, y is on top. What? It will be now that we are going through this. I was actually going to ask you next, Susie. So, what's minus negative 3 do? What's a minus negative 3? Really?
What?
We are really plussing up here. So this is really plus positive 3 right there. So negative 2 plus 3 is 1 over 3 minus 1 is 2. And for today, I don't want fractions, I want just a single number. So I'm going to take this 1 over 2 and plug it into Desmos. Kyle, you got Desmos right there. What's 1 over 2?
0, right? Leave it on 5.
0.5, or I'm lazy, I like just going 0.5. 0.5 is not wrong, I just don't like writing the extra 0 because it's more work. Alright. What? You want to write an extra number if you don't have to? Alright, this 0.5 is my n. 0.5 is my n. So I found half of what I need. I'm doing y equals mx plus b, right? I'll write that down again just so you can see it. I found n. M is 0.5. And b, m isn't super tough, but b is really kind of annoying. So to find b, I'm going to take my first one right here. And I don't care about the second one. I needed the second one for my slope. Now that I have my slope, I don't care about it. You can just get, yeah, here you go. Feel bad saying it, but it doesn't matter. Alright, so I am going to plug in 3 for x, and y equals mx plus b. I'm going to plug in negative 2 for my y, and I'm going to plug in this 0.5 for my n. So that way, all I have left is b. So instead of y, I'm going to go negative 2, and then equals m is 0.5. And Sophia, what did we say was in between the m and the x right here? Yep. So I'm going to go times now, and then instead of x, I'm going to plug in 3, and then I still have this plus b. So we need to go through and solve this equation. And once you make this part right here with the plus b, it's basically the exact same steps every time. I'm going to go 0.5 times 3. So let me grab Desmos here. I'm going to go 0.5 times 3. I get 1.5. You tend to get decimals a lot today. So if you get a decimal, don't freak out. You probably got it right. There tends to be a lot of decimals. So let's see. Still got negative 2 equals. I got a plus b here still. All I did was multiply these two things together. Sophia, would you close the Chromebook, please? Alright. I still haven't quite solved for b yet. So Robert, what should I do to solve for b? What?
We add 1.5 with a negative b.
Close.
Now it's negative.
We are
It's
going
negative
to,
1.5.
yeah, we're going to minus, because this is a positive 1.5, right?
Yeah.
The opposite of this positive is minus. So we're going to minus 1.5. So we're going to minus 1.5 on both sides. So be careful. That's a positive right there, even though we're not writing it. The opposite is minus. So we're going to minus 1.5 on both sides. And let's see, we're going to write it here. Joyceline, what happens with this 1.5 minus 1.5?
You cross it out.
Yep, they cancel out, they're gone. Which is what I want, because I just have b left over here. And then on the left side, I got negative 2 minus 1.5. So let me plug that into Desmos.
It's negative 3.5.
Well, I was going to plug it into Desmos just to show people.
I thought you said someone plugged it in.
0.5, just to show people. Who it was, Allison, but thanks for stealing my thunder. Appreciate it. Alright, I plug it in Desmos, I get negative 3.5. So negative 3.5 equals b. And it's a decimal, that's fine. You're going to get a lot of decimals today, so don't freak out about it. So negative 3.5. But, Alex, am I done?
Yeah.
What do I got to do?
Don't you have to get to be on that other side? Something?
Not quite. Have I actually written my equation?
No.
No. I did all the work, but I didn't actually write my equation. So for my final answer, I got to go y equals 0.5 because that was my m that I found way back in the beginning. So 0.5x. And then I could either go plus negative 3.5, or because plus a negative is the same thing as minus, I'm just going to do minus. If you want to do plus negative, that's fine. That doesn't matter. This is my final answer. So when you do this, I really don't care about this other stuff. I really care about this final answer. So there's a lot of work to get here. So you still need this other stuff, but this is what I care about the most. Alright, we're going to do one more together, but we're going to go around and you guys are going to help me with all pieces of it. And then you guys are going to try one on your own. We'll probably take a piece at a time. So we're going to do this one down here on the bottom. So let me get some space.
Cool. See all this stuff on this one.
Just, leave me alone, man. What are you doing?
Just rubbing lots of stuff.
What are you doing, Wesson? Alright, Dylan, what's the first thing we're going to do? If we're going to find the equation that goes through the points 4, 8, and 6, 6.
Rise of 1.
Yep, we're going to do our slope, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what was that equation for slope?
Y.
Okay.
Subtract y. X.
Y1.
Subtract y.
X minus x1. Alright, we're going to figure out our slope. Willem, what numbers am I going to put in for this top of the fraction here?
Huh? Oh,
What numbers am I putting in the top of this fraction right here?
oh, okay, 8,
Yeah,
subtract 6.
because we have x, y, x1, y1, yep. Alright. And then, Jared, what's going to be on the bottom of the fraction?
Other fraction would be 4 and 4 minus 6.
Yep, 4 minus 6. Alright, Zoe, what am I going to have left on the top here for 8 minus 6?
2.
And how about on the bottom?
Negative
2 over negative 2. Richie, what is 2 over negative 2? Because we don't want fractions, we want to get back down to single numbers.
2. Wait,
What?
well, I'm shook.
Yep,
One.
it is negative 1.
I did just completely wrong. 8.
Alright, so negative 1 is our if. So we got the first part that we need. Remember we're doing y equals m x plus b. And I found out m is negative 1. Alright, Allison, what am I doing next?
So after this, you have to find the, so obviously it's going to be there. So
Couldn't help it. Alright, keep going.
So then we'll do, let me look. 8 equals negative 1 times 4 plus b.
Perfect. So we need to figure out our b, and we're going to plug in this first point right here. So it actually doesn't matter, but I'm trying to be consistent and say, pick the second point, just use the first one. Even though it doesn't matter, let's try to do it the same way, just so that way, if you're wrong, if you check with like a partner, you can see what's wrong. All right, so we've got this set up to find our b. Susie, what do we do next? Before we do that, let's actually multiply that together. Let's actually times the negative 1 and 4 together. Yep, we get negative 4. Alright. Multiply it together, I get negative 4. I got this 8 here. I still have a plus b. Kyle, what am I doing next?
Plus 4 on 8.
Yep. Because the opposite of minus 4 is plus 4, so we're going to plus it on both sides. And then, I think I asked you this already, Sophia, but I'll do it again anyway. What happens with the negative 4 and the 4? They're opposites, right? So what happens when I put opposites together? Or if you're not sure, plug it into Desmos. Negative 4 plus 4. Robert's got it right there, but I'll let you use your Chromebook real quick. Use that Chromebook.
What?
Spacing out, Robert.
Oh no.
Alright, Robert, help her out. What happens with the negative 4 plus 4?
The 8 becomes a 4, you know? And those cross out. So
What?
it's
Okay,
8
back,
equals
no,
B.
back up. This right here.
Back
That's right here.
There. Oh, that
Cancel out.
crosses.
Negative 4 plus 4 cancel out, right? Because they're opposites. So what happens with negative 4 plus 4, Sophia? What did Robert just say?
No, it's what I just said.
Yep, they cross out. They are opposites, they're gone now. Okay, so I've got this B, and Robert, you were close, but you accidentally subtracted instead of added. Joyceline, what do I have over here on the left? The 8 plus 4.
Well,
8 plus 4.
Yeah,
12.
yeah. We actually have 12. You accidentally minus Robert. So you got ahead of yourself, but a little backwards. All right, so I found out 12 is B. Oh, I asked you the same question last time. All right, so all right, we'll skip to Dylan. Am I done?
Yeah.
Not quite. What do I have left to do?
Or no, you have to plug it into the equation, right?
Yeah, we have to actually answer this. So what's my actual answer going to look like? And what is it, Dylan? So y equals negative 1, and then I got x, and then a plus 12. So even though I did all this work, I need to actually have this for my final answer. This is my final answer. So, if you didn't write this down, you would be wrong, even if you worked really hard and found your M and found your B. So make sure you do this one.
It's like a lot of steps to find just
Yeah.
one answer.
It is, a lot of steps for just this little thing. That's why it's kind of annoying. It's not super tough. You guys have done all this kind of stuff before, but it's just for putting it together, it's kind of annoying. Alright, I want you to try one on your own now. So, I want you to find the equation of the points through 3, 2, and negative 4, 7. And let's take it a piece at a time. I want you to start just by finding your M. Start by finding your slope. And then we'll double check it, make sure we are all on the same page. And then after that, you can find B.
Oh, I forgot to do it for this thing.
Wait, today's only Wednesday, isn't it?
Which it is Wednesday, I thought it was Thursday, or Tuesday.
Wait.
I like this is a text.
It says,
I don't
I'm
think
sorry,
it's better to do it, try to do it on a cell.
Yeah.
but your opinion is very little to me. Huh? It says, I'm sorry, but your opinion means very little to me. Season one.
And I'm pretty sure you're going to get a big decimal on this, which is okay. Don't freak out. You get decimals.
Is it like this X1?
Yes.
That's right.
You got it, it's point set. Sure you will.
Alright, I got
Wait, did I get this right?
Yep. You can start the next part if you
That's
want,
actually
or you can
plus.
keep it on the. You can wait until we go over it. So I'll give you about another minute, maybe 2 minutes to find your slope. Then we're going to make sure we all got the same slope. And then from there, we will find B.
Oh yeah, we have to find like a single number, don't we? So, oh yeah. Oh god, 7.
Not taking less than 1. Dylan, can you find this slope yet? Better keep going then, or get started.
It's not plus.
Yeah, it is. We have
Oh,
3,
It's gonna be
5, negative.
Pokemon. You do die, don't
Come on, Dylan. Keep going.
With Gogi.
Hmm.
With our fraction, do we divide it?
So you're gonna go down. So your fraction is right. Your fraction is right. But for today, and just for today's stuff, you want to get like a regular number. So not a fraction.
So if I get 1.4, but 7 divided by 5, will that count?
So boy, yes. Now you set hands up for now.
Ah.
There you go. So you're going to get a decimal. So you're going to get a decimal answer. We're going to talk about it here in just a minute.
I'll just put 0.7.
We're gonna do the problem that's here.
You gotta figure out.
Better get working there, you.
That what?
Right there.
What?
Yeah.
How did you get kicked out of the jungle?
Let's see.
I tried to sing.
You must really messed around. Yeah, yes.
I just laugh when I'm doing it.
Relax.
I'm not sure if this is true.
What the?
Oh,
We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it in just a second. I'm giving people a little bit more time to finish it off.
This is almost done.
hey, okay.
Hmm.
Tell me real quick.
Maybe. Oh, okay. Alright, help you so much.
Yeah, what'd you get?
So, okay, we got like 23 minus 1. That's 7. 7.
Oh, easy there.
Negative 5 over 7. Put it in there.
She's gone.
25 over 7.
We're going to talk about it in just a second.
What is that?
I said we're going to talk about it. I said relax. We're in decimal. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it right now. All right.
Wait.
So we're going to go over and go through this slope. So, let's see. Let me pick somebody random.
Me.
Choose me. Me.
My calculator.
Go
Come on.
go to the bathroom.
After lesson.
Okay.
4. All right, Alex. Alex,
Yeah.
what'd you get for your fraction part of your slope?
Sure.
Don't get out of this class at
Grab
50 something,
a-
52.
55.
Paper here, and I'll get you caught up in a little bit. All right, we're just about done. All right, what? What'd you say?
-1 minus 4.
Negative 1 minus 4. Did you do this one?
Alright, put it.
All right, what goes in for y?
Not in the middle, dude.
On this one.
Oh,
That's what I was saying. -1 minus 4 and then.
Where are you getting negative 1 up here?
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one.
Oh, okay, that would do it.
Minus -4.
That'll be on the bottom because they're x's, right? 3 minus negative 4. And then from top?
I don't want to get.
Minus
Yep, 2 minus 7 on top. All right, so we have 2 minus 7 on top, 3 minus negative 4 on the bottom. We go through and solve this, and we get negative 5 over 7. All right, and I said plug this into Desmos, and let's see what we get. After lesson and after coming to last before you. All right, we plug this into Desmos. Wait, can you finish? Okay, we plug it into Desmos, and we get negative 0.7, and then this really big decimal here.
That's a negative. What's that?
Allie, shut up.
Start
Yes.
over now.
No, you just missed the negative, it's fine.
No.
Okay, we get negative 0.7 and then a really long decimal. That's kind of annoying. So, if you get a really long decimal, you don't need to do the whole thing. Just give me the first decimal. So, negative 0.7. You want to make sure you round it if you need to. It's negative 0.71, right?
0.7.
The 1, the 0 doesn't matter. I get fine, negative 0.07.
There you go.
There is a 1 after the 7, which means the 7 does not round up, it stays where it is. So round it to the nearest tenth, which is the first decimal place.
Okay, I'm not good at rounding.
So our m equals negative 0.7, or just negative 0.7. That is our m. So you're going to get a decimal for b also, I'm pretty sure, which is fine. Just because you get a decimal doesn't mean you're wrong. So don't freak out about decimals. Guys get all high-strung whenever you see that little dot. Okay. It's really okay. All right.
So, we found M. I want you to find B now, on your own, and then we'll go over it together.
Can't remember how to do B.
What?
Huh?
What?
I'm gonna catch up on other notes. Someone in this.
Okay.
What?
Okay, this one actually took so long today.
I know. So we're probably going to work on homework and stuff tomorrow. We might even work on more like extra practice on Monday for this, just because it's not super tough. It's just kind of annoying. It takes a while. So I want you to keep going. I want you to work on finding B now. Find B. So we found M. Remember to find B. Use your first point. Even though it really doesn't matter, but to be consistent, let's always use the first point, just to make it a little easier. And we say, heck with this guy. We don't need you no more.
That's so mean.
And now, we're doing some mean math today. Just use your first point, plug in X and Y,
Oh, I heard
plug
that
in
wrong.
M, solve for B.
I thought you said something else. I was off.
Oh,
I thought you said he was doing some mean math.
Bro, I was
What?
I thought you said you were doing some mean math today, and I was off.
I thought you
It's
were
not
like,
something you say.
Oh, I said.
Oh, I forgot to look for songs yesterday. Should have been a good idea.
Hey, Goki, you ready for this?
You can do your work? Yeah. Yeah, I am.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Dude, I got this lemonade that helps you sleep. And like at first I thought it didn't work, but I like chugged the whole thing and I was crashed out. It was. It was. It has
There's
Bob
something called
Marley on
working
it, so I
that'll
hope
make
it's
you
not like anything bad.
Not even gonna go there.
Wait,
Not
what
even
you
gonna go there.
It says it helps you relax. I was like,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
It was. I was
Does it
mad yesterday.
make you hungry too?
Yeah, that's called indica.
I don't want to know. You hush.
Yeah, I have one of those.
I don't want to know.
before.
Hush.
Yeah, I was like,
I don't want to know, Dylan. Your
is it-
evil habits.
I got my green card. Not that.
So you're already immigrant?
No, not that good. I was just.
Hey, Goki, ready? I can make this.
or is that like
Never
a
mind. One of them.
I'll give you a couple more minutes. Find B. Then we're going to go over it together. You guys are going to help me out. After that, we'll see how much time we have left. So help me, Richie. I'll remember that when it comes great time.
Ready? You just get started. Get out of the way.
Maybe.
Serious.
You're like,
He didn't
you're way
even have
up
to
there,
move.
right over here.
He didn't even move, he just.
Oh my gosh, I hate these Chromebooks.
What the heck is this stuff that's on here?
Oh, hey, appreciate.
Protected coding is a distraction.
He's scratching off the long thing.
No, look what I got. You just turned off my Chromebook. Whatever, you can keep them. They're broken now. Oh wait, that means I don't have. Oh. that's a
Oh,
long
really?
story. My dog tried to eat it the other night.
That's
It
not a
was-
long story.
Oh, I saw your dog this morning. I was about to just jump out and take it.
All right, let's start going over this one.
I just drank the whole
Hey, is this thing recording?
Yeah, don't mess. No, I have to edit that part. I'm gonna replace it with something really annoying. Put your picture there. Be like, he did this.
But I finished
You
my
call
whole
big
Alright.
paper.
So let's go through this, and we're gonna find B. We're gonna go over that together. So help me out on this one. Who's at that desk? Who's at that desk? Dylan. Oh, it's you. What am I doing? Hey, quit messing with my microphone. Sit down, you. All right, Dylan. Dylan. Hey,
Yes.
almost done. What do we do?
You're gonna find B.
That's true. How am I gonna find B?
You're gonna find it because you believe in yourself.
That's true. Specifically, I am going to.
Oh, you're specifically going to
Mm-hmm.
make an equation.
That's true. Let's get specific and not generic.
Oh, okay.
So What am I going to start writing down?
You write that thing.
We already did all that.
Oh, crap.
We got negative 0.7.
You already did stuff.
Yeah, we did. And then you didn't even try. The calculator knew and it picked you. Alright, so we're going to have to put in something for x, y, and m, right?
Take the battery's life.
What am I going to put in for y?
Oh, what?
What number?
Plus one.
I'll give you a hint.
Can I do this? 2.
We're going to, okay, keep going. Equals?
Please was 0.7.
What's your negative? Yeah. Okay, keep going.
Negative 0.7 times x plus
And what's x?
x.
Yep. And then?
Adding b.
Yep, then plus b. Now we're going to solve it for b. Alright, and to solve it for b, Robert, what am I going to do first? I feel like I asked you this already.
Oh, times 3.
Yep, and what do I get when I times these?
Oh shoot.
I know this.
Go that far, sorry,
Let him answer. He's got this. I believe in him.
You can do it. I
that's
believe in
21.
you.
I believe in you, Robert.
And I think it's negative
Negative.
2.1,
Whatever.
right? I'm double checking because I don't. 2.1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, negative 2.1 plus b. And I still have equals 2. Alright, we're still not quite done yet. What do I have to do, Richie?
What?
What do I do next?
We're gonna do. Oh yeah. Plus 2.9.
Oh, you got it. Plus 2.1 on both sides. Alright, and we get equals b with 4.1 over here. Alright, so I got the equals 4.1, but, oh, I won't call him Dylan again, or Richie again. Nobody's at that desk. Got Richie again.
What the
Oh,
heck?
Willem.
You guys got 4.1?
Am I done?
No.
Okay, what do I gotta do?
Y equals
Yes.
negative 0.7 x plus 4.1.
Perfect. 4.1. Alright, nice job, guys.
Oh my god, what?
What did you do, Allison? What? What?
Look at the time.
I effed up somewhere. Of course I did.
Alright, so we are almost done with class. So what we are going to do, we're going to do this problem down here tomorrow, and you guys are going to do the exit ticket tomorrow. Then you're going to start your homework.
Almost time to leave.
So, log out, put your Chromebooks away. If you want to get your extra credit, let me know you're plugging them all in.
Hey Dylan,
Extra credit.
Not plugging in.
I'm using it.
Also, if I have to keep taking headphones, you guys just won't get headphones anymore. You get to listen to my music. So during the lesson, don't get on your headphones.
Guys,